I have some advice. Are you ready for it? If you find yourself in a position to do a quick media hit on Fox News from the lawn of the White House, you're not going to find yourself in that position. I'm not going to find myself in that position. But if you do, even if it's the late afternoon, maybe don't come from happy hour and show up on Fox News seemingly drunk. I don't think she was really drunk. She sure is acting weird, though. Alina Habba yesterday said a couple things that I want to talk about. One, maligning the education, the training, the logic of Ted Lieu, Representative Ted Lieu from California, a Democrat. But also just her fundamental either lack of understanding, I don't believe that's what it is, it's the propaganda element of the Republican Party to try to convince people that what is happening is absolutely A-OK and normal and prescribed in the Constitution of the United States. They want to portray Donald Trump as a king, as some kind of an unparalleled, powerful figure that cannot be tried, cannot be tested, cannot be checked, his power. There is no oversight to Donald Trump. He is the president of the United States of America. Back in the founding era of our country, when the president was the president, named the president, there was a lot of debate surrounding how would we refer to the president? How would we address the president of the United States? And John Adams, this is an aside, I just had this thought as I was talking. John Adams actually was pretty roundly mocked by members of the Senate when he wanted George Washington to refer to like His Highness, like this real weird flowery title. And George Washington was pretty adamant about just Mr. President. We're not going any more flourishy, but which is interesting because now Republicans who want, a not powerful central government, they are anti-federalist to a certain degree. They want Donald Trump to be this kind of a God king, this demigod who cannot be, don't question the dear leader. Interesting. Anyway, so Alina Habba yesterday impugned Ted Lieu and acted as though she's the ultimate authority about things. It doesn't even make sense what he's saying. It doesn't make sense to me, says the lawyer who I can't think of a case she's won that didn't have to be dismissed because Donald Trump won an election and was able to scuttle all of the cases surrounding him. Watch this moment from Alina Habba. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about what she says. And then on the other side of it, got another clip of her really driving home the propaganda.
Every president, including Donald Trump in his first term, complied with court orders. If this administration is going to start ignoring court orders, they're essentially eliminating entire judicial branch, because why even have judges if you're not going to follow their court orders? So we expect this administration to follow the court orders. And then what J.D. Vance said was just clearly insane. If he really wants to eliminate the third branch of government, I think there's going to be enormous pushback from both Republicans and Democrats.
What's your legal take on these arguments, Alina?
What a spin, Martha. What a spin. That guy should get a degree in spinning. Number one, he's probably not a lawyer because that made zero sense to me.
Something making sense or not making sense to you, Alina Habba, isn't the be-all, end-all of whether it made sense. And by the way, Ted Lieu is a lawyer. Ted Lieu, first of all, full colonel in the United States Air Force, a man who served his country in uniform and doesn't do quick Fox News hits from the lawn of the White House in some weird, ostentatious, opulent fur, you freak. Also, went to Stanford for his undergrad and Georgetown Law School for law school. He is absolutely a trained jurist and officer of the court. I looked this up. U.S. News and World Report ranks Georgetown as number 14 in the country for law schools. 14. Alina Habba went to, what is this school? Widener University Commonwealth Law School. What do you think Widener University Commonwealth Law School? I mean, is this a correspondence school? What do you think it's ranked compared to Georgetown Law? If you guessed 158th, you'd be wrong because it's actually 159th. So if we're comparing brain pans or we're comparing diplomas, Alina Habba, little fur lady who just got back from a happy hour, I'm going to take Ted Lieu. Here's the other clip I want to play for you where she's talking about, and this is the thing that's being done very commonly right now, even with Mike Johnson yesterday when asked questions about the separation of powers in the Constitution. She says, separation of powers is a novel idea, but ... And then explains how Donald Trump, I want to get the quote right, or at least the idea correct. No, I have the quote here. There's a separation of powers for a reason. The executive branch is the ultimate authority on federal issues, which is just patently false. And for someone who colors themselves an officer of the court, a well-trained, educated lawyer type, you'd think she would know the basics of not even constitutional law, but just elementary school grade level civics. Here, she is trying to pass Donald Trump off as some kind of a unchecked king.
Separation of powers. It's a really novel idea, but our founding fathers created a document, the Constitution. There's a separation of powers for a reason. The executive branch is the ultimate authority on federal issues, and we have rogue judges who are trying to stop members like Doge team, Besant, from doing their job. And that's to protect taxpayer dollars, to look at what we're doing with spending, and to run the federal government under President Trump.
Donald Trump is absolutely, without equivocation, not the ultimate authority on federal issues. He is not. Article 3, Section 2 of the United States Constitution outlines the power of the judiciary. And I'm going to read one half of the paragraph to you, giving you the ammunition that you need to go into your life to combat this kind of misinformation, propaganda, and fascist talk about the power that Donald Trump does or doesn't have. Again, Article 3, Section 2, the judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, the treaties made or which shall be made under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls. All cases. All. That is just one. And again, just the other day, I mentioned Marbury versus Madison from 1803, and this is from the archives. The decision in this Supreme Court case, Marbury versus Madison, established the right of the courts to determine the constitutionality of the actions of the other two branches of government. So tell me again, Alina Habba, tell me again about the executive branch is the ultimate authority on federal issues. The Constitution would like a word or several. Donald Trump has put him in place around him a group of sycophants so loyal, so cloyingly worshipful of Donald Trump that it's gag-inducing watching it take place. As Project 2025 has been marched out in direct contrary nature to everything he said during the campaign. I don't know anything about Project 2025. I never read it. I don't know what it is. Coincidence that all of the officers of Project 2025 have been given high positions within the government to implement that very plan. Anyway, if they have their way, they will win. And you need to take time for yourself to ensure your mental health is intact. But you also need to do so your energy will maintain and sustain us through this 4 years, because we need people on the ground to fight, to push back, to protest, to rise up. And I hope you're ready for the fight. I love and appreciate you. What do you think? You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily at dollemore.com. I do want to hear from you. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. I am nearing 1 million subscribers. I think we could get there by the end of the month. Seriously, like 20,000 subs yesterday, just bananas. You guys are great. I love and appreciate you very much. If you want to help support this work, click the join button below. You can help me produce these videos and reach the millions of people that I do, sometimes on a daily basis, but certainly tens of millions of people on a monthly basis. You can help with that. Click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month, or go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I'll see you next time. Be genuine until then, and take care of one another.